Well, Henry Kaiser put me in touch with you guys and said, you should, I think he said, you should book me and I should come and do the gig. And Henry is currently diving in Antarctica, which is about the silliest thing that I can think of. But he emailed me some frozen bubble. And he said that I was to make sure that you could ask questions and stuff like that. So if anybody wants to ask me any questions. About my guitar. This guitar was built by a man called Stephen Sobel, who operates in Northumberland in the northeast of England. He is a one-man operation, and he's a very radical guitar builder indeed. I lived in the States for 14 years and had access to, the very best builders over here, and had great relationships with the very best builders over here. And with all due respect, I just keep coming back to this guy's guitars because they do the job for me. I don't know if you can see, but it's not really a flat top guitar. It's actually got a series of curves built into it, which makes it it's a much more stable top than most flat top guitars, which, effectively, they're kind of crucially underbuilt, so you touch them and they go whoo, like that. But then after a certain point, you keep touching them and they just break up. They're like a small, like an underpowered speaker. And these don't. This is a British sports car. Yeah. But one that works. It's like the new Triumphs, not the new Triumph Bonnevilles, not the old ones. They don't actually come with a pan to catch the oil. I'm using a Highlander, just a Highlander under the saddle transducer, which goes into that little thing, and basically I think the PA is flat, apart from we've just rolled off some 3.5K, which is, if you hear an acoustic guitar just plugged straight into the PA, it goes quack, quack, quack. That's 3.5K. It's actually quite easy to get rid of, generally speaking. Has anybody got anything else they wanted to ask about? Yes.
What you call a slide guitar when I was very young, and my brother played the Hawaiian guitar.
Yeah.
Is that the same as the slide?
Well,
it comes from there.
Chicken egg. It really is a chicken and egg situation. I mean, effectively, the slide guitar is when you do that with the guitar.
It's all the same.
A solid block. It's an electric Hawaiian guitar. There's just the most wonderful collection through there of historic instruments. I actually walked through there and came out the other end going, oh, because it's so often in your life as a professional musician, you buy instruments and then you sell them again. And there's about a dozen instruments in there that I used to own, and I'm going, oh no, no, I want them back. Well, it's a much broader history than that. It's a history. It's really hard. As I say, it's chicken and egg. In Africa, there's this fantastic little film in there. In Africa, there are instruments, single-string instruments played with a stick in one hand or a big pick in one hand, and a stone or a bottle or a can or whatever. Same thing happened in the American South. In India, there's classical music played that way on an instrument. But with a slide. And then, I mean, the thing about people and instruments is that people are always changing the way they play instruments anyway. I was sent a little film recently, via email, told to go and look at this, and it just said, underlined, it said, "The future of guitar?" ? And it's not a very clear film, so I couldn't really see what was going on. It's a little African guy, obviously I would say southwest Africa, judging by the way he looked and the way he was playing. And he's playing this fantastically kind of swinging little guitar thing. But it just sounded more complex than it should be. It sounded really amazingly like extra rhythms happening, extra bits of melody. I say it was a poor film. And then he appeared to be like nodding his head a lot, but in a slightly weird fashion, and suddenly noticed he'd got a spoon in his mouth. And he's picking like on the top strings, and he's playing slide with the spoon. Ah, yes. With a spoon in his mouth? Oh, that's probably him. It's absolutely ridiculous. So cool. I mean, go home, raid your cutlery drawer. There are actually lots of people who played with knives, for instance, not in their mouths. Remember what your mother told you, never put your knife in your mouth. Yeah, the only problem is if you don't keep it really clean and constantly buff it, it ceases to be clean and it corrodes and shrieks and gets pits in it. A lot like an English sports car.